City News is brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation. Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News, Air New Zealand begins operating a larger Q300 aircraft for flights to and from Auckland this weekend. Fun was had at the Rotorua Railway Park yesterday in celebration of Waitangi Day, and the junior cricket season gets back underway this weekend. Air New Zealand begins operating a larger Q300 aircraft for flights to and from Auckland this weekend. The 50-seat Q300 aircraft provides an additional 31 seats per flight, the equivalent of a 30% increase in passenger capacity. Airport Chief Executive Alistair Rhodes says the change to the Auckland and Rotorua routes are a positive development for the region. He says forward bookings on the route have already experienced double-digit growth compared to the previous year. An 11-year-old Pāroa boy injured yesterday water skiing on Lake Rotorua spent the night in hospital with a broken leg. Yesterday afternoon, the Bay Trust Rescue helicopter was dispatched to Lake Rotorua, northeast of Rotorua City, where the boy had been injured close to the shore. He was part of a large event being held in the area and was comforted by family until the helicopter was able to airlift him to Rotorua Hospital. And fun was had at the Rotorua Railway Park yesterday in celebration of Waitangi Day. Mayor Steve Chadwick made an appearance, as did Councillor Charles Sturt, who took time to MC. The day was made extra special by the launch of the first motorised trolley. It can seat 6 and free rides are on offer for this new ride. Local kids also got a cool down from the Nongataha Volunteer Fire Brigade. More than welcome, I'm sure. In sport tonight, junior cricket gets underway this weekend with a juniors grading day tomorrow. Rotorua Cricket Development Manager Dave Richardson says new players are welcome to head along.
We start on the 8th our intermediate competition, and that's a grading day with the main competition starting on the 15th. And our junior primary school competition, this is the children in year 1 to 6, that starts at Smallbone on Thursday the 13th. That's when we kick that off. And if anyone's interested in playing that isn't part of a team, they just need to contact me. Give me a call on 0275 800 149, or they could call in to Bar Plenty Sports Office and they'll know how to find me. But we'd welcome any new cricketers to join us this season. Right, well, we're going to start a new initiative this term, Alan, and we're really, fingers crossed, we're hoping we're on something that could be really good for the Rotorua community in cricket. We've come up with the first initiative is on a Friday night, which often is a night for, you know, those boys and girls in that age group when they've sort of started high school where they want to do something. And so we've aiming to put together a Friday night sort of business house type cricket competition for secondary school students. It's going to be at Smallbone Park, which is we all know is a great place to be. And the idea is that they will play without any pads, without any helmets, so it's really easy and they don't need any gear and they can wear whatever clothes they like to come along. It's $2 to play the game, and it's going to be in a form where, for those that are not aware of business house cricket, where there's smaller run-ups and there's a limited time for people to bat and there's no LBWs and the rules are very, very easy. And we're hoping that the game should be finished within an hour and a half. At the end of each game, all the people who play will get a sausage and hopefully a drink if we can get one of the local businesses to help us with some sponsorship. And we're really hoping that it will introduce some of those people who enjoy touch and more of those instant games where cricket tends to have struggled to sometimes capture those sort of players. And being a Smallbone, we think will add some real X factor to being there because it is such a lovely venue.
And to your weather now, and the forecast for tonight is for rain with humid easterlies, an overnight low of 17, and a reminder that every Friday you can plan your weekend activities with help from our weekend weather roundup with the Met Service, and that's straight after City News. For program listings and other info or to upload your images, check out our website tvrotorua.co.nz, and remember to check out our Facebook page TV Rotorua. Still to come in tonight's program, we meet youth worker Kane Mayer and we cover last week's visit by Prime Minister John Key to local company Verda Timber Products.
Well, we're down at the youth centre today, and it's going to be an exciting 6 months down here for the workers down here in 2014. And one of the reasons is because they've got a new events organiser, and he's with me today, Kane Murray. Thanks for joining us today, Kane.
Hi.
Now, obviously you guys down here do an awesome job in the community, especially with the youth in Rotorua. And just off camera, we're talking about all the exciting things that are happening in 2014. But before we get into that, you're new to the youth centre, and you bring a wealth of experience to the organisation down here. So just share with our audience at home what you've been up to and why you love the youth so much.
The youth are great, man. I've been in London for about 6 years now. Recently got back where I learnt a lot, mainly in working with audio and how it affects children, and that's kind of what I'm trying to bring here. Learning an instrument I think is really beneficial for children, and it's a great thing if they can form a band, jump on the stage and play live. Confidence, fantastic for them.
Would you rate music and sport with the sort of same avenues that if people and kids, especially kids who are involved in music or sport, it keeps them out of trouble?
I definitely, totally agree with that. I mean, they're so completely different, but yeah, music I think is therapy. It's a really fantastic thing.
Yeah. Do you play an instrument yourself?
I do, yep. Yeah. I teach percussion, I do a lot with work with turntables, I build sound systems. Yeah, that's my biggest thing at the moment is audio, big sound systems.
Yeah. So you're bringing those skills that you've learned and that talent into the youth centre. So what made you come here?
Mainly for family reasons. I came back because I've been out of the country for so long. Came back to see my family and moved my way into this, and it's great. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. Now you mentioned the stage behind us. Now that's just been built, so you guys must be pretty rad, especially you with the music and this music background. So what's the main reason behind having it here?
Well, look at the spot. It's just fantastic, and it's kind of hidden away as well. It's not going to affect, especially from noise control problems, and it's just a really good place for people to get up, and just hone their skills.
Yeah. Now we came here a couple of weeks ago and did a story with Jerome, who's the dancer here in Rotorua Youth Centre, and that was just starting. So it's only taken 10 days for it to finish.
Yep, and they've been going for it. It's just fantastic.
Yeah,
it's such a sweet spot to have.
You're pretty happy with the end result?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Really
now, start of the story, Kane, I mentioned that 2014 is going to be a busy year for you guys, especially the first 6 months. So what's coming up that people at home might want to know?
In term one, there's going to be a lot to do with music. Lots of bass guitar lessons, guitar, piano, drums, cooking, working with makeup and how to make yourself feel better, look better, CVs. There's just so much. Once we get it all kind of, when it's completely finished.
So you're still planning?
Still planning, yeah.
Now, obviously these things are going to be like workshops. Is there going to be a process where people need to register here at the youth centre?
Yes, yeah. You'll have to come in, register, and then it's a small fee, and then do however long the course might be, and then if you like it, come back next term and take it from there.
Now I remember last year I came here and did a youth project here last year. Is there anything specific that you're going to do with youth here? Apart from these workshops, like are you going to have a specific project to run?
Not necessarily. We try and make everything as complementary as possible. Everything. We're trying to put on as much as we can, basically. Yeah. So everyone. So you don't. It's hard to explain, but last year I learnt there were certain things that just didn't work, so I won't bring them back. And there were certain things that really worked well, like photography and cooking and basic skills that people can learn and take it away and really start working with that themselves.
Now, you mentioned the cooking. Now, a step before that is obviously growing the food. Now, over there is a massive garden, and it looks like someone's done some work to it. So, is that going to be? Is this going to be a part of a project as well?
Yeah, that's a fantastic thing. Once we start, people learn how to grow vegetables, and they can go and cook them, make themselves a meal, and just the basic things that. I mean, a lot of kids don't even know what broccoli is or certain vegetables, and if they can learn what they are and learn how to cook them, it's fantastic.
Then in the answer to this, then who's been looking after that? Because when I was here last year, that was just a heap.
yeah. Well, it's all been dug up. We get what do they Get some community workers that come through and clean the place up, dig it up. I think April's been in charge of the potatoes there.
Yeah, they look good, don't they?
Yeah, it's looking really, really cool. And this whole space here is going to be fantastic. I reckon in about 6 months' time.
Yeah, nice.
Just to put down the winter vegetables and so forth.
Now this weekend you've got a big event coming up. I'm pretty excited about this one.
Yeah, we've got a community culturals festival happening here on the stage. So we've got
Brand new stage.
Brand new stage. We've got about 12, 15 events happening here. Everything from breakdancing to Chinese dragons. I don't know if I should be letting it out of the bag. We've got the Hangi steam cooker here, which is going to be brilliant. So there's going to be lots of food. All different types of food. Great entertainment. It's worth coming down and checking it out.
So that's happening on Friday the 7th, this weekend. What time does it start?
It starts at 4 o'clock, finishes around about 8 o'clock.
Okay, so and it's a family event, or is it mainly for youth?
It's all family, all youth, yep. Try to incorporate as many youth acts as we can on stage. So
cool. And it's going to be a free event?
It is free, yep.
Yeah, free kai, free event.
What more do you want?
Good looking hat, MC I heard.
Oh, the finest.
Okay, I know you guys are busy here, so we'll let you get back to your work, and I'm no doubt we'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Cheers,
Thanks for your time.
Prime Minister John Key visited Rotorua today, and he made a special visit to a company called Verda New Zealand Limited. Now Verda are in the industry of making high-end wood products, specifically things like decking. Now the special thing about Verda is that they're helping Japan with the rebuild after their tsunami back in 2011. So we're going to catch up with Grant Butterworth, who owns Verda, and then we're going to have a quick chat with the Prime Minister. Thanks for joining us today, Grant. Now it's not every day that the Prime Minister just drops in and says hello.
No, it isn't. No, a bit of a special day, but it was great. He was very interested in what we're doing here, so it was great to host him.
Now he was here with Todd McClay, so obviously Todd told him about what you guys have been doing here and the business that you have with Japan. So where did it all start for you guys here at Verda?
Well, it started back in 2004, so we've been developing a high-end range of outdoor wood products that we market to various markets around the world, including Japan. And then in Japan, because of our association with designers and architects there, it led us to a project which is based around the recovery of the tsunami that occurred there in 2011 in a town called Rikatan Takata, which was decimated by that tsunami. And so there's a project which is a public-private partnership to build a recovery and reconciliation centre. So it's a large accommodation and conference centre overlooking the town. And we were really pleased to be involved doing all of the decking and outdoor timbers for that project.
Sounds like it's going to be a big project. So long term, is this obviously good business for you guys and obviously the Rotorua economy?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's great. Great for Verda in terms of the brand, and it's great to be a part of it. You know, the story of the rebuild in Japan. We're Rotorua born and bred, so all our staff are based here, and so it's a good opportunity for us. And we're doing it in conjunction with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, who are assisting because it is a public-private partnership. But yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Now you've been to Japan and witnessed firsthand the after effects of the tsunami. What was your impression?
Oh, just profound. It was just utter devastation. The town at Rikatan Takata was just obliterated. It was a town of around 23,000 people. 3,000 people lost their lives, and basically the tsunami was 16 metres there, and yeah, it just obliterated it. And so now they're going through this process of lifting the entire town 16 metres, which in itself is a massive civil engineering feat, and then obviously rebuilding.
Yeah, well, if anybody can do it, the Japanese do it, because they're very well known for building huge mega structures, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and they're very pragmatic. It's happened. We've got to get on. They're doing what they can to mitigate it. So it now includes, buffer zones and lifting the town 16 metres, which effectively provides that tsunami buffer. So yeah, they're very pragmatic, and they just get on and do it, and they do it extremely well.
Tell me about the miracle tree, because I think that's quite significant considering the industry that you're in.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's fascinating. At the entrance to the town, and along the foreshore at Rickatintakata was a stand of 70,000 pine trees. So it was these are trees of around up to 200 years old, and the tsunami came in and went out, and one tree was left. And it's now called the miracle tree, and it's become somewhat of a symbol for the town in terms of the rebuild, but even for the whole of Japan. It's now renowned as the miracle tree of Rickatintakata, and it's become the symbol of the rebuild, that this tree survived and will grow and etc.
So it gives them hope.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Now let's come back to Prime Minister John Key visiting. You obviously showed him around the plant. What sort of things did you discuss?
Just the products and what we've done, what's special about Verta Outdoor, our products, and how we compete in the global markets that we do. We target markets that have traditionally been tropical hardwoods, so we've had to design the products to meet the exacting requirements of the French market. France is another one of our large markets, or Japan, or wherever it may be. And he was really interested and genuinely interested. It was great, and he wanted to understand a bit about the technical side and particularly the elevating radiated pine to that sort of price point.
So obviously a good day for Verta here in Rotorua, but also a good family day because your two boys were here and got to meet the Prime Minister.
Yeah, couldn't avoid that. As mentioned this morning, they said, "What do you got on today, Dad?" And I said, "I got the Prime Minister coming," and so that was the end of that. That was the end of school. So yeah, they came along and he was great. He was really, really good. Chatted away to them, and they got the photograph, so they got something for show and tell tomorrow.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Nice. Appreciate your time. Thank you, Grant.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Good to see him in Rotorua, the Prime Minister. A couple of years ago, 2010, always sad to hear about the tsunami in Japan, but 3 or 4 years later, the spin-off for New Zealand and also here at Verta Rotorua.
Yeah, look, tremendous opportunity out of adversity, and it shows the closeness of the relationship between New Zealand and Japan, but also what a tremendous market it is. And I mean, there's always been a lot of Japanese interest and investment in New Zealand, particularly in the forestry sector. But Verta are obviously doing extremely well in that market and carving another new niche.
Now, just recently, Rotorua Public, very happy that you promoted our MP, Tom McLeay, to Associate Tourism Minister. So does that mean we'll see more of you here in our city?
Yeah, or he'll have a bigger profile promoting Rotorua and the other parts of New Zealand around the world. The reality is, because I'm Prime Minister but also Minister, I don't have as much time as I'd like to be Minister of Tourism, so the Associate plays a very big role. And that was the reason I selected Todd, was because, A, we think he's high performing, he's got a big future, but also secondly, coming from Rotorua, we just knew, this is a throbbing heartbeat of tourism, and so he's going to be able to do a great job of promoting Rotorua and the benefits of tourism more broadly.
Now, I catch up with Todd fairly regularly, and I always throw at him, are we better than Queensland? Are we number one in the tourism industry?
Well, you better say yes.
He does.
Yeah, good. Okay, that'd be a relief.
Now, I've got a killer one for you, Prime Minister, the flag issue.
Yep.
Is it really an issue when you compare it to things like rich versus poor, the deep sea mining versus the clean energy and the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement? Is the flag, is it really an issue?
Well, it's not the number one issue. I've never kind of claimed that. And over the course of the last 5 or 6 years, we've tackled kind of all of those issues, from Christchurch and the earthquakes to the global financial crisis. But I do think there is, we're we're forced as human beings to think of a multitude of issues. And to me, I mean, personally, I think if we change the flag, and most people know my views now, they prefer a silver fern, that speaks a lot about nationhood, because in a way, if you were walking down the street and you were in Los Angeles and you had a silver fern on your cap, everyone's going to look at you and know you're a Kiwi. And if it's part of the flag, the international branding, the international positioning of New Zealand, now that you're probably not going to get that from the current flag, and you're probably not going to wear a hat that looks like the current flag. So, in the end, we'll have to make up our mind whether we want to put it on the ballot paper. People have to have a chance to choose and decide. It's not something a government should decide of its own right. But if you're asking me whether I think, relative to a whole lot of other issues, it's at least worth a debate in terms of the evolution of New Zealand and nationhood building, my view is yes, but we'll see what the other cabinet colleagues think.
So if you compare it to the other issues that are facing New Zealand at the moment, what do you think is number one?
The economy always is number one, and the reason for that is that almost everybody wants to be independent of the government. So if they have a job, they can look after their family, they can feel confident at night when the bills come in, and do the things they want in their life. I mean, of the big four, the economy, education, law and order and health are the ones that determine elections, if you want my view, and that's because people vote on things that really matter.
Yeah. Now here's a cool one for you, Prime Minister.
Okay.
Kim.com, would you ever have a coalition with him?
Not a dog show.
Fair enough. Thanks for your time.
Okay, bye-bye.
And that was Prime Minister John Key talking with City News' Alan Solomon while he was visiting Verda Timber Products. If you'd like to see the show again, visit our website tvrotorua.co.nz. And to call the channel, you can talk to one of our team on 07 34 88 984. Thanks for watching and having us at your place. Ko mai.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News was brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.